afternoon. It's your boy Henny the Moore over here at HTM Sports, and man, it's game day, man. Like I don't even know how to feel right now. I'm excited, nervous, happy, all at the same damn time. I don't even know how I'm feeling right now in words, man. But man, we finally made it to the day. You know, we've been knowing this day was coming for a while. I think we had about 8, 9 days off. I forget. But we're back in full effect. We're going to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what we need to see tonight, what we need to do tonight. How's everybody doing though? How y'all feeling about this playoff game we're finna play? Are y'all nervous? Do y'all feel confident? What do y'all want to see today, man? Because I'm just happy we got this opportunity, man. You know, we broke the cycle of going to the playoffs and then missing the playoffs and struggling to get in. We won a bunch of games. We knew early on we were gonna get into the playoffs. We didn't know who we were gonna play until the end of the season. But we got who we got. It's a team I think we match up pretty well against. And I'm just excited for the opportunity for the Cowboys, man. Gary Murphy, what's good with you? You said, what's good? Let's get this win tonight. You showed right. Jeffrey Lamadozzi, what's good with you, kid folk? I appreciate y'all for tapping in. So go ahead and share. Try to get a couple more people out here with us. Raymond Solid, what's good with you, kid folk? Appreciate you for tapping in with me, brother. So yeah, man, I am ready. I think we match up damn good against this team. I know, we had our issues with them the first game of the season, but we have a winning formula since then. We found a way to win games with this roster. And historically speaking, it is very hard to beat a team more than one time in the season. You know what I mean? It is very hard to beat a team that you played once before, more than one time in the season. So I like our chances. I've been talking about how they match up for most of these shows. I want our offense to control the clock and play their game, no bad turnovers or smart plays. Well, we're just gonna have to make sure that Kellen Moore is on top of his game. We're gonna have to make sure he sticks to the winning formula. And when I say we match up well too, I'm not just giving lip service. Think about the weaknesses of our team and think about where Tampa Bay is weak. Our biggest weakness on defense is run defense. We have not been a great run defense all year. Fortunately for us, we added Jonathan Hankins. All right, he's going to be back in present for this game. And Leighton Van Der Esch, who was our best middle linebacker, will be back for this game. And when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are dead last in rushing offense in the NFL. Their best game was against us. Their best game rushing this year was against us week 1. Leonard Fournette went for over 100 yards. He has not had 100 yards since. With the personnel grouping that we have now, I do not foresee Leonard Fournette having another 100-yard game. We'll have Hankins out there. We'll be able to put him beside Bohannon or put him beside Watkins, whatever the combinations are best run-stopping tangible or defensive tackles we can put out there. And I feel confident about our chances because where we do succeed at is pass defense. We have a litany of good pass rushers. We have a young and hungry Michael Parsons, who was probably going to be playing, very inspired football. He just had his first daughter a couple of days ago. He gonna go out here and try to put on a show. We have DeMarcus Lawrence. We have a bunch of these other guys who have a ton of sacks. We do have Trayvon Diggs, who made an All-Pro team last year. We got Deron Bland in the secondary, who has 5 interceptions this year. So and we should have Xavier Rhodes on the other side. So like the issues we were having in spurts in the secondary, those should be secured. This is a team that should not be able to run on us, and vice versa. This should be a team we should be able to run on. So and I get why people have so many concerns. Hey, gang, what's good, man? Yeah, game day. I'm ready. Kellen Moore auditioning for head coach position, so I think he will call a good game. He has no choice because people talk about him getting a job. Like, it's at the point now where Kellen Moore has a bad game in the postseason, he might lose this job altogether. What I'm saying? He's had this position since 2019. So 2019, 2020, 2021, this is fourth year. Like it's not too often that an offensive coordinator stays at one place for five, consecutive seasons. I think if we don't get it done, they might move on from him. And then we definitely probably are seeing the last of Dan Quinn, not because he isn't good, it's because he's so good. Somebody probably want to make them their head coach. So like Dan Quinn already has been linked to a whole bunch of jobs right now. He was linked to the Broncos job. It was a job he was linked to last year. There's so many different openings right now for head coaching positions. So Dan Quinn is going to be a hot commodity after this season. So we need to utilize him while he's here. There's no telling, if our defense will ever be the same if Dan Quinn leaves, because we use a lot of his concepts. We use a lot of he got a lot of out of the defensive players. So it's not a guarantee we can replace Dan Quinn and still get the same production out of our defense next year or years to come. We need to cash in on having these coordinators and these particular players while we still have them. CeeDee Lamb is still on his rookie deal, but he will probably deserve a contract next year. Even though he's going to be on a 5th-year option, he'll probably still deserve a pay raise. Trayvon Diggs is going to be on his last year of his contract next year because he was not a first-round pick. We're going to have to pay him shortly. Anthony Brown is coming up for a contract. You're going to have to either draft somebody or re him up or go out and get another free agent to fill his position. So, like our roster is going to be in a state of flux after this season. You have no idea who will be here. This is a great collection of talent. It's a very top-heavy collection of talent, but we still have some very solid players we may not have back next year. We need to utilize these opportunities when we get them. You know what I mean? And this is not a team that is a juggernaut by any span of the imagination. Record-wise, we beat much better teams this season. We beat the Detroit Lions, who were 9-8. This is only an 8-9 team. All right, I get that they beat us, but this team has lost more games than they won. They're 8-9 for a reason. If they did not play in the division that they were playing in, they would not have even made the playoffs or qualified. So, we've beaten much better teams this year record-wise. We beat the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. All right, we beat the New York Giants, who just won a playoff game. We beat the Cincinnati Bengals with a backup quarterback who just won a playoff game. All right, we beat the Philadelphia Eagles, even though without Jalen Hurts, they have so many Pro Bowlers and so many All Pros. That is still an accomplishment. All right, so we beat all these good teams. You know what I mean? So like we should feel comfortable playing Tampa Bay. They do not match up well against us. Even hey Mickey, what's up with you, man? Appreciate you tapping in, man. We just just really rapping, talking about game day. It's time. Let's put up or shut up. This is what we done work for. This is what we work to get to all year. So yeah, man, when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they only average 18 points a game. All right. They average 18 points a game. They are not a good offensive unit, but they got good offensive personnel. Don't get me wrong. Like Mike Evans is still a dog. He's a guy that's putting together a Hall of Fame sort of resume. We know who Julio Jones is. He may not be the same player, but he's still going to be out there. They have Russell Gage. I think Godwin is healthy enough to play. So, like they got a bunch of guys. They got a couple of tight ends. They got Leonard Fournette, this and that. But they haven't really put it together all year. You know what I'm saying? They have flashes here, and then they have issues, the following week, and so forth and so forth. We have not seen consistency from this team. As much as people say the Dallas Cowboys are inconsistent, the Tampa Bay Bucks have been much more inconsistent this year. We're just being honest. And if you're talking about head coaches to head coaches, Todd Bowles has not ever shown himself to be a good head coach. He is not. You can say what you want about Mike McCarthy, but at least he has a Super Bowl ring. At least he has a winning record in the playoffs. At least he has these accolades underneath his belt. And yes, they are getting their starting center back. Ryan Jensen is on deck to play. The Dallas Cowboys, though, were already expecting this. They have prepared for Jensen to play. There's nothing that's caught them off guard. They are prepared. So, if they are stating that they're prepared, I'm not concerned about it. So, I will still listen. He hasn't played football all year. He has not played football all year. Just because he's back does not mean he's going to be the Jensen that he was before he left. The Dallas Cowboys are still going to test him. The biggest way to disrupt Tom Brady is to get pressure right in front of his face, and that is applying pressure right over the center, pushing the center back into his lap, blitzing up the A gap. Like Tom Brady has never been a mobile quarterback, so he has learned to navigate the pocket very well. He knows how to buy time in the pocket, step up in the pocket to avoid pressure. He is a savant when it comes to navigating the pocket. But I just heard elevated Avion. Oh yeah, Collins. He played very well in preseason, man. Like he is a guy that should have been getting reps above Josh Ball. Like Josh Ball showed me nothing, but Collins was very, very good during preseason. I don't think he really got a fair shake at either tackle position. But if he's elevated, he's ready to play. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. If he needs to rotate in, and I feel 100 times more confident in Collins playing than I do Josh Ball. We got to go that direction. But you do got to think about it. We got a bunch of different guys we can run out there at offensive line. We can move Tyron Smith back to left tackle and then kick Tyler Smith over to left guard. And, Tyler Biotis is back to take his spot at starting center. Zach Martin can still hold it down right there, right guard. And then, if you want to put Collins at right tackle, that is fine. Like, he played well enough in preseason, to get that chance. It's not like it's on Dak Prescott blindside. And then if you don't trust Collins that much, you can still rotate Jason Peters in over there at the right tackle position. So, there are different formations we can use, but what I really don't want us to play musical chairs with the offensive line. I want us to put our best starting five out there, leave them out there, let them get some momentum built between them, some consistency, and we'll see where that takes us. But those are going to be one of the keys to the game. That offensive line playing well. We've seen the production in the run game dip dramatically. For several weeks ever since the Terrence Steele injury. So, we just have to hope and pray, that we get that figured out. Because what we really want to do this game, we need to be able to run the ball against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've said all this thing about them not being a good football team, but every football team, even if they're bad, have something that they do very well. What they do very well is defend the pass. All right? We seen that week 1. They are the number 10 pass defense in football in terms of yardage. They are the number 15th ranked run defense in football in terms of yardage. So just look at the raw numbers. You have a better chance of moving the ball on the ground against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than you do moving it through the air. You also just never want to put this offense in obvious passing situations against a top 10 passing defense. So if you're able to run the ball, you're able to show heavy formation, you can play action out of that. You can send crossers, right behind the linebackers and in between the safeties, when we're doing things like that to give our quarterback some easy second-level throws. So that is really what I want to see. I want us to attack their weakness, and, I want us to prevent them from exploiting ours. I want to see our best 2 run-stopping defensive tackles on the field at the same time. On early downs, first and second down, I want to see Hankins and Bohannon, or I want to see Hankins and Watkins, whichever formation, whichever combination is our highest rated run stopping duo, in terms of defensive tackles. I want them in on first and second down. And when we get to third and long or third and medium, then we can rotate the Osa in. Then we can rotate Neville Gallimore in, who are more prone to being able to push the pocket in the pass game. I wish we would use a third running back more. A lot of teams rotate more than just 2 backs. Donald can get off. Yeah, Donald can move, man. Like, I like Donald. I like Davis. As a matter of fact, I think it's Malik Davis who is the third back right now, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think Malik Davis is the third back right now. And we seen plenty of good from him. In that Tennessee game, he had over a 20-yard run. So I think Malik Davis is the third back right now. and he has shown himself to be very serviceable in the snaps that he did get. So I have no problem with us, utilizing another back. I believe in running the ball because it gives us versatility. Even teams, listen, that's why if you look at the Seattle game, that's why they were able to be in the game as long as they were. During the first half of that game, they ran the ball 20 times for 88 yards. They were getting enough production in the run game to keep them honest. You know what I mean? They were moving the ball well enough to keep them honest. The 49ers pass rush couldn't just take off and kill Geno Smith. So that's why they were able to hang around. That's why they had a lead at one point. But they really got away from that. That's why the 49ers were able to get back into the game. Dang, you was right, Henny. My bad. I said the Vikings were going to win. Man, it be like that. Like, I was right so far about every prediction because I didn't really believe the 49ers were going to lose. But, I did pick the Jaguars to win. I did pick the Bengals to win. I picked the Bills, but those games were much closer than I could ever expected. Like those last two I mentioned, like they were way closer than I ever expected. Like I was damn near wrong on all those. But like they had some lucky breaks, some great bounces. Hey, Ty Bun, what's good with you, man? I appreciate you tapping in with me. Yeah, man. Yeah. So like I was right on all of them, but the only one I want to be right about is this game. Like if I get all the other ones right and I'm wrong about my own team, I don't care about none of that. I didn't need my team to show up and win, man. You know what I mean? Like for real. Like I picked the Dallas Cowboys by double digits. Whether it be 10 or 17 or 14, I picked the Dallas Cowboys by double digits. Because listen, even in the first game, like everything went in the Buccaneers' favor just about. Everything went in their favor just about, and they only scored 19 points. We held them to 19 points. All right. They already are a very bad red zone offense. So, like, really, if you want to be honest, the game plan should be not to give up the big play. Try and load up for the run on first and second down if they show running formation. Try and force them into third and long and obvious passing situations. And, like they are already not a great red zone offense. So, once you get them into, and listen, we stopped them in the red zone. They got to the red zone like 4 times. I think they scored 1 touchdown when they played us. Hey, Joshua Fisher, what's good with you, man? Tyler, what's up with you, man? We got to go in there and dominate Tom Brady today. Tom Brady. I feel that, man. I said, man, I feel confident about tonight. Man, I feel confident too, man. Like I said, brother, like I feel like we can easily win this game. And I'll be talking about the numbers and the analytics and all this other stuff, but I really feel like we have the advantage. Like we're the team that has the all-pro receiver. We're the team that won double-digit games this year. We're the team, with the momentum. We're the team with all these multi wins over double-digit win teams and stuff. We're the team that did that, not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm confident. Well, Dak going to shut up all the haters tonight. I believe Dak is going to have a good game because you just go back and look. Yes, if we win today, we are going to play the San Francisco 49ers. Whoever wins this game is going to San Fran. Because the Giants already upset the Vikings, they are locked to play the Eagles. So, like, their fate is already set in stone. They're already game planning for the Eagles. Right now the 49ers cannot game plan for anybody because they don't know who's going to win this game. So, I'm ready. I believe we'll win this game. I believe we'll win this game by double digits. I believe we'll listen. This is a team that only averages 3.4 yards per carry. All right. This is a team that's not very great in the run game. This is a team that averages 44 passing yards a game. So if our run defense can step up, if we can win it, if we win in the run game early, they will get themselves out of trying to run the ball. I don't even think Dak is going to have a turnover this game because if you go back and you look at how he performed after losses, right? He lost the first game against Tampa. The very next game he played was not until the Detroit Lions game, right? He was there near perfect in the Detroit game. He completed 76% of his passes, no turnovers, threw a touchdown, and like he had a very high QBR that game. All right, we lost the Green Bay game. Dak Prescott came back around in the Vikings game, completed 80% of his passes, threw 2 touchdowns, and had a QBR of over 90. No turnovers. Then, we lost against the Jaguars. So that the next game we played with the Philadelphia Eagles, he had that one interception early on, and then he threw 3 touchdowns, was damn near perfect the rest of the game. So after wins, you add it up, Dak Prescott is six touchdowns and only 1 turnover, and is completing 76% of his passes. All right, after a loss, Dak Prescott is damn near perfect in the next game he plays. In winning efforts, we have not lost back-to-back games at all this season. I expect for that trend to continue because Dak Prescott normally responds right after. Yeah, he normally responds right after. And even when you look at his playoff history, like I know the San Francisco 49ers game sticks in everybody's mind, but even then he had 2 touchdowns to one turnover. The game before that, he had 2 touchdowns, no turnovers against the Rams. He was not the reason we lost against the Rams. The reason we lost against the Rams is because A, they ran the ball for almost 300 yards, and B, we allowed Jared Goff to convert on a 3rd and 7 when we still had a chance to go down and tie the game. So we had another chance to go get the ball and tie the game. We let Jared Goff run for a 3rd and 7 to seal it. The game before that, Dak Prescott had 2 touchdowns and only 1 turnover. That was the Seattle Seahawks game. We ended up winning that game, pretty convincingly. Like the final score says we only won by possession, but they got a little late score, and then they failed on getting an onside kick. You know how those things work. And then his very first playoff game, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 interception, threw for 302 yards. So Dak Prescott, even in these playoff games, like he only won 1, but he's played well in every single playoff game except for last year. And even last year, like he still played better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Like Jimmy G didn't score a single touchdown, had a turnover. He missed on some throws that could have put the game away earlier than what he did. So he did not have a great game. So even with as badly as Dak Prescott played, he was still the best quarterback on the field that day. So you really have to feel comfortable in Dak Prescott. You have to feel comfortable in the man. Look at his career numbers. And I'm like as a numbers guy, like you usually are the bulk. Let me see. What kills me is people act like Dak is a bum. They gotta put some respect on Dak's name. Packers game, Roger did Roger things to get them in field goal range to win their game. Exactly. So like when you think about the playoff losses, like even in the 49ers game, like Dak didn't play well, but he wasn't the main reason that you lost the game. Because you got to remember, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play well and they won. So if other things on your team were working, you don't always have to rely on your quarterback to be perfect. They had a run game and we didn't. They ran for 169 yards, and we were very limited in the run game. I don't think we ran for 100 yards as a team. We didn't have a 100-yard rusher. Tony Pollard did not contribute in that game much. Ezekiel Elliott did not contribute in that game much. And then we had 15 penalties. We had 20 pressures allowed. Dak Prescott was sacked 5 times in a home game. So like there was like more than just Dak Prescott that went wrong. Like the entire team failed to show up. You know what I mean? The Rams game, like Dak didn't play bad. He had 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. He didn't really have a semblance of a run game that game either. We had a lot of drop passes too. Yeah, we had to drop passes. We had like a 40-yard play called back on a holding penalty. Like we had a bunch of things that really, didn't go in our favor. So like we just got to come out, with some rhythm. We had to come out with conviction. I think it mainly was our game plan that failed, especially on our offense. Yeah, man, because like we didn't really even try and run. Because remember, you know how I be talking about the wide nine, how it's great, it's a great 4-3 defense to get after get after the quarterback, but it can be susceptible to the run if you run in the vacated area between the defensive where the defensive end is detached from the line. Well, you know, we did that earlier in the year. You know, the Chargers were running a wide nine. We ran all over it. You know, it's not like this is a defense that's exotic that we haven't seen. Like multiple teams run the wide nine now. And like we didn't even take advantage of it. So, you know, if we survive this game and go up and, you know, because if we survive this game, we'll see the 49ers again. Like we even seen the Seattle Seahawks have success running against the wide nine. I know on paper they're the best run defense in football, but you also got to remember, you know, that means nothing. Like matchups make fights. You know what I mean? Styles make fights. So, you know, if they want to sit in that wide nine, you know, we should make them close the gap. You know, we should throw a haymaker and make them counter, and then we have a counter for that. Because we get them out of the wide nine, and it's not as big of a pass rush threat. Then it's when you go over the top. Then you can utilize play action. You know, like there are things that you can do to set up plays down the line. So if you use what they want to do against them, then you know you can have a counter for that when you finally get them out of that defense. We are great when we are in our multiple tight end formation. That is very true. A very large amount of our big plays come from multiple tight ends being on the field. I personally want to see a lot of 13 personnel, you know, so we can get this run game established. I want to see 13 personnel. I want to see 12 personnel. But I do also want to see CeeDee Lamb be excessively targeted in this pass game. If we throw the ball 30 times, I want him to get at least 15 targets. Like half the balls need to go to CeeDee Lamb. You can figure out whoever else needs to eat after that, but CeeDee Lamb needs to set the table. CeeDee Lamb needs to be featured. Hell, if you can get away with it, throw him the ball 20 times if you have to, because there is such a big gap in between CeeDee Lamb and everybody else, you know, on our team in terms of the pass catchers. That, you know, yeah, so we need to get CeeDee Lamb involved early and often. We need to get involved early and often. Because listen, we have come too far in the season to put the fate of our team advancing in the hands of Noah Brown. We've come. Gallup needs to win his one-on-one matchups today, and so does Ty. I trust Ty right now to win his one-on-one matchup more than I do Michael Gallup. It's a health thing. Like players don't generally come back from ACL surgeries and beat themselves. Right. He tore his ACL late in the season. He tore his ACL real late in the season last year. So, you know, it was a given that Michael Gallup wouldn't be Michael Gallup right off the bat. So, you know, it is what it is. I just need him to show. I don't need a bunch of plays from Michael Gallup. I just need a couple plays from Michael Gallup. I don't need a bunch of plays from T.Y. Hilton. I just need a couple plays from T.Y. Hilton. It's CeeDee Lamb's job as the 88 on the team, as the number one wide receiver, as the second team All-Pro to show up or show out. That's his job description. You know, CeeDee Lamb is the guy that's going to the man of King's ransom, pretty soon. It's going to be in his job description to make the fantastic plays, to carry the bulk of the passing game targets. That's what, that's what all these guys want. That's what Ja'Marr Chase does. That's what Justin Jefferson does. All these elite young wide receivers, the passing offense goes as they go. All right, so like the offense is going to have to go through CeeDee Lamb. I want CeeDee Lamb to be the best wide receiver on the field tonight. Listen, if we target him, he will be. If we target him, he will be. Nothing against Mike Evans. He's a dog. He's a great wide receiver. But right now, CeeDee Lamb is the guy. Let me see. Can we get Malik Davis some snaps with Pollard? Is he getting their touches? Yeah, of course. There's always time. Because remember, Tony Pollard in college played more wide receiver than he did running back. Tony Pollard is a guy who set the NCAA record for return touchdowns in the kicking game. So, like he is a guy that you can move around. You can move Tony Pollard to the outside receiver. You can move Tony Pollard to the slot and then still have another running back on the field, not named Tony Pollard. Because Tony Pollard can line up at wide receiver while Zeke is on the field. He can line up at wide receiver while Malik Davis is on the field. And you can hand the ball off to Zeke or Malik Davis one play, then you can turn around and throw it to Tony Pollard the next play without even changing your formation. So, I think there are scenarios we can utilize to get more of our best players on the field. But, I just have to see what they do. You have to see what they do. So what do y'all want to see? What do y'all want to see personally out of our team this year? I can see us getting to look. I can see us winning it. I can see us winning it because there is not one super dominant team in the playoffs this year. Like even the best teams in the playoffs are teams we play multiple times every year. Like other teams might be afraid of maybe afraid of the Eagles. We play the Eagles so much we can't be. Eagles. This is why the Eagles aren't afraid of us. They play us all the damn time. Right? We're familiar with each other. We're familiar with the Giants. So, like, we beat Tampa Bay. We beat the 49ers. You will feel confident as hell playing against the Eagles or the Giants in the championship round. You just would. Because you play them all the time. You beat them all the time. For real, there's not a team in the NFC side you should be afraid of. Because, look, the Buccaneers are an 8-9 team. They don't match up well against you. They can't run the ball well. Like I get it. Like they are infatuated with Tom Brady and what he does, but like Tom Brady is 45-year-old man. Like if we can't put him out the pasture now, we don't deserve to win. All right, if we can't stop Tom Brady now in his career, we don't deserve to win. When 9 other teams have beaten Tom Brady this year, he has lost 9 games this year and only won 8. So we can't get rid of Tom Brady this year, man, we don't deserve anything. All right, we don't deserve anything. So we can't beat Tom Brady. We don't deserve to advance. Tom Brady is 45 years old. He has a head coach that is not very good. They have an offensive line that's been rotating people in and out. I know they're supposed to be getting their starting center back today, but hey, he ain't played all year. His first game is going to be in the playoffs. That's a bunch of pressure for a veteran guy like that. You know what I mean? Even the Falcons, you're right. Even the Falcons finally beat Tom Brady this year. Even though he didn't play the full game, they still beat Tom Brady in a game that he started. So, like, it's the first time for everything. Like, hey, it's the first time Tom Brady had a losing record. It's the first time for everything. So, yeah, like, if we can't beat Tom Brady this year, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. So, you know what I mean? Like, we just got to put our big boy pants on, go handle business, and beat up on a team we're supposed to beat up on. I mean, there's really we've been talking about this game for so long, right? We've been talking about this game for so long. There's really no more X's and O's to talk about. Either we want to win this game or we don't. All right, they've been game planning for the Buccaneers once this year. This is their second time seeing this team. They've had 8-9 days, whatever, to prepare for them. Oh, this regular Coke, Mickey. Regular Coke. Regular Coke. Who is your X factor on offense and defense? T.Y. Hilton is going to be my X factor on offense. I expect CeeDee Lamb to be CeeDee Lamb, but I do also expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to give him shell coverage. And when I say shell coverage, they're going to probably blanket him with an extra person in the secondary to either try to rob the route or go over top of him, prevent him from getting the ball. So, I need somebody else on offense to show up. And, I think T.Y. Hilton, being the veteran player he is, being a home run hitter, having a good rapport with Dak so far, Dak trusting him, I think he can be the secondary guy in this passing offense. On defense, my X factor, I said it was Donovan Wilson. Donovan Wilson plays a lot of a linebacker for us in the big nickel set. He's a guy that has 5 sacks on the year. He's a guy who picked off Tom Brady in the game earlier in the first matchup. He's a guy that I think is going to have to show up for us. Really, Kearse and Wilson will have to show up for us. But I actually see Donovan Wilson having a huge impact because he can cover tight ends, he can cover running backs, and when you know Tom Brady, that's what he loves to do. He loves to target his running backs out the backfield. He loves to target tight ends. So I could really see those guys, Kearse and Wilson, having a smothering effect, neutralizing a lot of things that Tom Brady is comfortable doing on the offense in terms of the passing game. And look, Mike Evans is Mike Evans, but we have a Trayvon Diggs for him. Julio Jones is Julio Jones. What's left of him? But we have what's left of Xavier Rhodes to cover that. It's funny because at that two receiver and two corner spot, there's going to be two Asian veterans playing for might be both the guys' best chance to actually get a Super Bowl in their career. I don't know how much longer Julio Jones can play. I don't know how much longer Xavier Rhodes can play. So we got two guys over there at that two receiver spot and that two cornerback spot. Might be their last playoff game going forward. So they gonna go out there and try to perform. So yeah, man. Do you think Mike McCarthy's job is on the line determining the outcome of this game? The only way I see Mike McCarthy losing this game is if we get blown out. No, I take that back. If we have a huge lead and we blow it like the Chargers did, or we get blown out and are competitive in this game, then I think Mike McCarthy might be done in Dallas. But if we barely lose this game, if it's a questionable call that gets Tampa Bay in field goal range with time running out, or if we dominate this game and win, there's no way. So if we lose a close game and everybody plays well, let's say we play well, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just play the games of their lives. So it's like the final score is like 37-34 or something like that. Dak Prescott and the offense showed up. It's just that the Tom Brady just went to God mode or something. If it's like 37-34 or something crazy like that, where we showed up and did our best we could do to, it was a close game, back and forth all throughout, Mike McCarthy ain't going to lose that job. If we win the game, Mike McCarthy ain't going to lose that job. But if we get dominated or we have a big lead and we give it up to Tampa Bay, then there's a good possibility that stuff could happen. Because I don't think Jerry Jones likes to get embarrassed. And then, am I wrong to think we can win 34-17? No. We averaged 35 points with Dak Prescott. They averaged 18 points on the entire season. So, 34-17 is 1 point less than what we average, and 17 is 1 point less than what they average. So, in a perfect world, everything goes our way, we convert when we're supposed to convert. We take advantage of the matchups that are there for us. Prescott is on. The play calling is good. Defense ready to play. Of course, that can happen. We beat the brakes off of the Vikings 40-3, right? We put 40 on the Eagles, who was the best passing defense in football. So, we've scored a lot of points on better defenses. Like, hell, the Green Bay Packers were our top-ranked pass defense. And, they got those 2 interceptions, but we still, had a monster game scoring against them. I can easily see this team scoring 28 points, 30 points. This is what we do for the most part. Since Dak Prescott has been back, that is what we do for the most part. We've only scored under 20 points, under 20 points 2 times this season with Dak Prescott. The opening game and the last game that you saw. But he came back from Detroit. We scored 24 points. We scored 39 points against the Bears. We scored we've been scoring a bunch of points. We put, what was it, 37 or 40 on the Vikings. We put 40 on the Eagles. Even in the game we lost in overtime, we get the Jaguars, we scored 34 points. We scored a bunch of points. Yeah, we scored 40 against the Vikings. We scored 28 against the Giants, 28 against the Packers. This is a team that's going to struggle to get to those marks. So if our offense can get to 30 points, I think it's going to be very hard for Tampa Bay to win this game. Tampa Bay has struggled to score points all year. That's why their scoring average is so pitiful. Let's see. Let's go and look. When has Tampa Bay scored 30 points? Let's see the last time they scored 30 points. I think they scored 30 points in the – all right, so they scored 30 points against the Panthers. And let's see. They scored 31 points against the Chiefs. They scored 30 points twice this year. That's it. Remember, as much as they hyped this team up, this is the same team that lost 35-7 against the 49ers. This is the same team that lost 34-23 against the Bengals. This is the same team that barely beat the Saints by a point. This is the same team that floundered and got shut out by the Panthers first game. The Panthers held them to 3 points. All right, this is the same team that the Falcons held to 21 points. So, this is the same team that the Packers beat 14-12. So, we score an excessive amount of points. Yeah, only that's with anybody though. Like we beat ourselves, But there's not a lot that the Buccaneers can do. Because we beat ourselves the last time. We threw a bad interception. We called trick plays to get behind the stick. You know what I mean? We abandoned the run game when Ezekiel Elliott was averaging 5.2 yards a carry. So, we did a bunch of things to beat ourselves that first game. Tampa Bay turned the ball over. We didn't take advantage of it. So, we did a bunch of things to shoot ourselves in the foot that first game. And then, if we're being honest, Dennis Houston ain't out here catching balls for us no more. He was starting week 1 we played them. Michael Gallup wasn't here. T.Y. Hilton wasn't here. CeeDee Lamb hadn't developed into the role that he's currently in right now. So, man, the matchup itself does not scare me. I have a bunch of baggage with the Cowboys just from being a Cowboy fan for so many years. You know what I mean? The disappointment since our championship runs in the 90s. That's what really have a bunch of people, concerned and appalled. But it's really nothing with this actual matchup. I think if we were playing the Carolina Panthers, if they had won this division, or the New Orleans Saints, if we had won this division, there would still be a large section of the fan base that would be concerned about playing this game. You know what I mean? It's just you live through so much stuff as a Cowboys fan, you're worried. But from the X's and O's standpoint, from the personnel standpoint, from the analytical standpoint, this is a team we should beat. You know what I mean? This is a team we should beat from all other standpoints except from an emotional standpoint. As a fan that is short for fanatic, we're very emotionally invested in this team. So I think that's why a lot of people are concerned. But as a football guy, just looking at the X's and O's, the numbers, the analytics, we're going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are going to beat the shit out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like this win will give us so much confidence. Yeah, man. All you need is to go in and listen. Tom Brady is one guy on a 53-man roster. All right. He is one guy. Tom Brady is not going to make Todd Bowles a good coach. Tom Brady is not going to magically make his offensive line block better for him. Tom Brady is not going to make his running backs run the ball more effectively. Tom Brady is not going to help his defense stop the run. So, like, yes, they got Tom Brady, but he can't cover up everything. We're going to play like we played the Vikings. I think so. I believe in this team, man. I believe we got a great chance to go out here and put this game away early. You know what I mean? I just need us to stick with what got us here. Run the ball, play action. And man, look, don't make Dak feel like he's in this alone. This is a team game. This is a team game. Heard the center is back this game. How effective do you think he will be? Coming off of IR and then facing a one of the best defensive lines in football, he might be shaky, man. You never know. He's a professional though. He's a damn good guy. He's a damn good player. But you know, like you never really know how soon a guy can get back to form. You know what I mean? It's all hands on deck. If it was a regular season game, I don't even know he would be back. No, he would try to play in this game. Ogie going to be a beast this game. Man, I think we'll be fine, man. I think a bunch of guys along the defensive line are going to have a day today. I mean, of course they're going to try to run the ball against us. They had success running the ball against us the first time, but you know that's sort of the point of us having Hankins back. That's sort of the point of us needing to play for the run on first and second down. Because listen, they're not a good running offense, but they ran the ball on us, and it worked. It hasn't really worked since then, but you know it worked the first time. But you know we're a better run defense now than we were then. Like statistically, when Hankins is in there, we are a much better run defense. Like we average like down there, we're down there a yard a carry better when Hankins is in the lineup. Like we're down there a yard a carry better when Hankins is in the lineup. So you know we'll see what happens, but we can force them to not run the ball. If we win early and we score enough, they're not gonna stick with the run. They already don't want to run. They already don't want to run the ball. They are averaging 44 pass attempts a game. Hey, I appreciate you for tapping in, Ms. Evans. Tom Brady can't move well. We should have at least 5 sacks. Man, I would love to sack Tom Brady like 5, 7 times, 8 times. If we can listen, if we can make Tom Brady uncomfortable, it's over. If we can put him on his ass, even if we don't get there, we can just knock Tom Brady down and not get flagged for it. You know, we can get some clean hits on Tom Brady to rattle him a little bit, to move him off his spot, to maybe force him to throw the ball earlier than he wants to. You know, we can, for a guy who is predicated now solely on being able to deliver an accurate ball in the pocket while standing up, like pressure matters. The thing with Brady is you got to frustrate him. Exactly. You got to wow him. What's Zeke's future looking like? After this year, I don't know. But I know for a fact it was Ezekiel Elliott has a good playoff run. He's not going anywhere. And you know, as many people that are down on Zeke for whatever reasons, whether it be they think that Tony Pollard is better or that Zeke has lost a step or whatever it may be, you know, if Ezekiel Elliott has a good playoff run, then there's no way that he's not on this team next year. They might restructure him and clear up some cap space, but you know they're not. If he has a good playoff run with us, he's not going anywhere. So yeah, that's what I think about Zeke. No, everything lines out. I hate the refs will determine if it's clean hit or not when we're playing Brady. Well, this is the thing. Just don't fall on him. You know, push him down. Matter of fact, make it easier. Just knock his lineman into him. He's not. That's not a penalty. No, bull rushing his lineman into him. You know what I mean? So find creative ways to frustrate Tom Brady. Find creative ways to frustrate Tom Brady. matter of fact, throw some coverages at him to make him hold on to the ball. He likes to get the ball out very fast. He has the fast release in football right now. Make him hold the ball. Show him a coverage where there isn't a quick slant. Something has to form downfield for him to get something. You also got to remember at 45, Tom Brady is not trying to get blown up. Like if he feels pressure, he might give himself up. You know what I mean? So we have to pressure Tom Brady. We have to rattle him. But it's doable. Like we seen teams beat Tom Brady all year. Tom Brady been getting his ass kicked this year. He's 8-9 for a reason. I hope Zeke Pollard in the run game punched Devin White in the mouth. Oh, I'm definitely running a Devin White. Devin White is a guy that really wants to rush the passer. And Devin White, you need to make Devin White move side to side. You need to get Devin White in coverage. Because like that is a mismatch for Tony Pollard to be on Devin White. Even with his foot speed, he's not running with Tony Pollard. Mike is going to be motivated with the birth of his daughter. Yeah, he's going to be motivated. I expect him to have a monster game, man. I expect him to have a monster game. Yeah, he's going to be motivated. I expect him to have a monster game. For real, though. All right, so any other questions, man? What else y'all want to see? Do y'all want to see Tony Pollard in the pass game more? Do you want to see Hendershot or all these boys get some rub? Do you think we need to use Turpin and maybe that's what I do want to see though. I'm not going to even ask this question. Can I see Turpin on a screen or something? Can I see Turpin on a slant or a over route or a crossing route where he could just run away from somebody? Because like we went and added this 4-2 guy to our roster. He was a MVP of the league that he just played in. I know it's not a huge league or anything along those lines, but like he has not really given us anything. I know that he made a Pro Bowl as a kick returner. Yep, and there it goes. It is official. Xavier Rhodes will be making his team debut, according to Michael Gehlken. Cowboys cornerback Xavier Rhodes will make his team debut in tonight's playoff game versus Buccaneers. He and offensive lineman of Aviante Collins, as you mentioned, were elevated from the practice squad. Okay, and also Jonathan Hankins is officially back. Tyler Biadasz is officially back, and so is Leighton Vander Esch. So everything we said, in regards to these players being back, they're back. Like all hands on deck for this playoff game. If you're hurt and you're not dying, you're gonna be out there playing. So a lot of these guys are gonna shoot it up, wrap it up, go out there and play. So yeah, I'm excited. So we know for a fact we're gonna have our best run defender back. We're gonna have our best middle linebacker back. So what's not to feel confident about? Old man versus old man, Julio Jones versus Xavier Rhodes. Yeah, that what makes it even more. That's how I know both of those guys are going to go out here and try and give their best effort. Because neither one of them could be in the league next year. Like, this might be the last hurrah for both of those guys. Xavier Rhodes wants to go out on top. He's playing on a team with a good chance to make a playoff run. Think about it. Once we get past Tampa Bay, 2 of the other 3 teams are going to be left in the NFC playoffs. We played and beaten already. We already beaten the Eagles. We already beaten the Giants. And look, say what you want about Seattle. They are a good team. I would take nothing away from Seattle. But we saw them struggle to beat Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. We saw the Seahawks almost take the lead again, going at the end of the third quarter. They were really a bad fumble away from being in trouble that game. That really was a bad call and a bad fumble away. Because I don't even know what the penalty that they called was on that second and short that moved them out of that goal line to goal situation. So, We could utilize Turpin on some drag routes. Yeah, I would love to see Turpin on some drag routes, some crossing routes. Even send the ball on a go, see if he can get behind somebody. Like, I would love to see Turpin, utilizing that. Also, 69mega.com, new A. Like, no, I don't need to find a girl. I have a beautiful wife. So this spam page that is in here, I'm going to block them because they tripping. They are tripping. Time them out. All right, I'm gonna time them out. Hide them on this channel. It's like they never existed. Okay. Yeah, these people weird. I don't need all that in here. I agree, HTM. But they are also divisional rivals, also familiar with the Niners. Well, that's true. But you also got to think about even in the regular season, they went to overtime with Jarrett Stidham in his first start with the Las Vegas Raiders. You know what I mean? Like, this is a team that's a little up and down, and they got great personnel. Don't get me wrong; they got Deebo Samuel. Ayuk was 1,000-yard receiver this year. George Kittle is a dog. Um, CJ McCaffrey, he's a bad man. I'm not taking anything from him. But speaking of Purdy, that was actually what I was finna get to. That was exactly what I'm finna get to. Look at the 4 touchdowns that Purdy had. He had 1 touchdown that he threw behind the line of scrimmage. First touchdown he threw behind the line of scrimmage, negative 1 yards, and then they walked in to the end zone untouched. Second touchdown was a 1-yard quarterback sneak. Really, it was really under a yard, right there at the 1-yard line. It was a quarterback sneak. Second touchdown, negative 1-yard pass behind the line of scrimmage. They walked into the end zone. And then the big play to Deebo Samuel. It went for 74 yards. The ball itself, though, only traveled 8 yards past the line of scrimmage. And Deebo Samuel had 66 yards of yak on it. So it's not like he's out here playing like Patrick Mahomes, throwing the ball 50 yards down the field, threading the needle, doing this and doing that. He's playing in a great offensive scheme, surrounded by great offensive players, and he's taking advantage of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like somebody pointed out to me, there is no extra style points for throwing the ball down the field. There's no extra style points from doing it the hard way. But he's not doing anything that we can't defend. You know what I mean? Like, I'm more concerned with their ability to run the ball and their willingness to run the ball than I am with Brock Purdy. And I also think with a couple of throws that he made last game, had he been playing our defense, we could have came up with the ball a couple of times. So, I think as a 7th-round rookie, he, with limited playoff experience, I do think if we play them, we can force them to some untimely mistakes. That's what I feel about the 49ers. I think that while it's working right now, I think having Brock Purdy as their quarterback will come back and bite them in the ass. I am not sure that is 100% sure. That's 100% the truth. Because, I don't really know the guy. He's barely played. Nobody knows. He might be the new Tom Brady. And he proved me completely wrong. At the same token, though, he might just be a regular guy surrounded by elite talent at every position. So, we'll see. Yeah, their defense is also a monster, but I also have faith in against their defense. I saw their run defense give up 100 yards. They gave up 88 yards in the first half. And really, if Seattle had kept running the ball, they probably would have ended up winning that game. So I saw things that gave me hope. I saw a lot of stuff that gave me hope in playing the 49ers. I saw some stuff that Seattle put on tape that we can also utilize. So, like, I don't think there is a single team in the NFC that is unbeatable. I don't think there's a single team in the NFC East that's unbeatable. And then think about this. Over on the AFC side, you held a better version of the Kansas City Chiefs to 19 points last year. They still had Tyreek Hill, all the other guys. Yeah, you held them to 19 points at home. Your offense just didn't show up. When you look and you go back and you look, you already beat the Cincinnati Bengals. You already played the Jaguars well. So like, like the only team you really haven't seen or don't know on that side is the Buffalo Bills, and they almost lost to a third string quarterback. So if Josh Allen continues to play the way he plays, like there is no guarantee that they even advance after this round. So like you got to feel comfortable against all these teams, NFC, and if you make it to the big dance, like you should feel comfortable against the AFC as well, because you've shown your ability to play with these teams. So I don't necessarily think there's anybody we don't match up well against. I really don't. But I've been on here. How long I've been on here? About an hour or so. I'm gonna take closing questions, man. Y'all ask whatever y'all want to ask. I'll answer. Since y'all been rocking with me for so long on this show, I like to give the end to y'all. So go ahead, ask whatever y'all want to ask, and I'll do my best to answer for y'all. I know this is looking in the future a little bit, but the draft isn't that far away. Do you think will be the best fit out of the draft this coming draft? I'm hoping we draft the number 32 overall, so it wouldn't matter. If we draft number 32 overall, just trade back and get some multiple second round picks. You damn near picking in the second round anyway. When we in the playoffs, I always hope for the 32nd pick, because that means we won the damn Super Bowl. Like I don't think about draft this early when my team doesn't make it into the playoffs. But I do know for a fact we're going to need some more linemen, because Terrence Steele, I would like to resign him, but he's not going to be ready to play to start the season. Tyron Smith, I don't know. I can't trust Tyron Smith to stay healthy. So am I going to put Tyler Smith at left tackle? If I put him at left tackle, who's going to be my left guard? Well, I might have to draft a left guard. You know what I mean? So like, there's questions along that offensive line. You need some more people in. So like, offensive line would definitely be a priority draft choice for me. Cornerback would definitely be a priority for me as well. Anthony Brown is not even if you resign Anthony Brown, because he's a free agent, he's not going to be ready to play at the start of the season either, probably. So there's a lot of guys and a lot of positions of need we're going to need moving forward. And so like, those will be positions. I haven't really studied the draft just yet. I usually like to wait after the combine to even dive into that. I'm not really a big draft guy. I do scout guys from Arkansas. That is the state I was born and raised in. That is the college team that I follow. So like, guys outside of Arkansas, I really can't tell you too much about. But like, there are guys from that team that will suit the Cowboys. And I also think we need another linebacker. No, there's a bunch of guys that might not even be Cowboys next year. LV, Anthony Brown, Terrence Steele, and these are a lot of guys that are key contributors. So I can't even think about that right now. I just need to get the most out of these guys while we have them under the roster. That's really, really my mindset right now. Winning this playoff game and building on that. All right, so y'all got any further questions? So again, I am not going live for the game either. I'm going to fan out. I'm going to cuss my TV out in peace. I think Dak throw 3 touchdowns and we run for 150 as a team, win by 14. I would love that. I think Dak, I definitely would love that. And that would be a very Dak Prescott game. We seen Dak Prescott throw 4 touchdowns, in under 30 attempts last year against Carolina Panthers. That one of his best games. We didn't really pass the ball a lot. He just was very efficient when he did pass the ball. So I like it. I appreciate it. But yeah, man. What's your score prediction? 34-20. Cowboys. Cowboys 34-20. I'm a pin it. Booyah. And there. That's my score prediction at the top. Cowboys 34, Tampa Bay 20. Defense smothers and frustrates Tom Brady all night. And I also hope that the score is not even as close as that. I hope that they score a garbage time touchdown after we are dominant for the entirety of the game. So that's how I feel about it. I hope that we crush the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You going to hop on after the game celebration and maybe Tom Brady retirement party? Play technically sound game, and the game shouldn't be close. Play cover two. Brady will struggle. What's the best plan to come in against Tampa Bay? Lead Tom Brady ass on the sideline. That is the best game plan for it. Control the clock and score. So run the ball, shorten the game, shorten the amount of time that Tom Brady gets to go up against your defense. Make sure you attempt to rush the ball 35 times or more. Finish and no field goals. Finish your drives off with scores, and it shouldn't be close. Well, that's a game plan you can implement and beat any team. We're being honest. That's the game plan you can beat any team with. Because remember, you get a lead, the other team cannot come back if do not have the ball. So once you establish a lead, you control the clock. You continue to get first downs. You put together some methodical drives, and close the game out. So that's what I would do. I would lean into the run, lean into the play action and screens. Take my shots when they are there. Utilize my mixed matches. Move around CeeDee Lamb so he cannot be easily double teamed. Simple, basic, no nonsense football concepts that we can implement. Make the game easier for Dak Prescott. Give him a run game. Give him some easy throws. Utilize him as well in the run game. And I think that's our winning formula against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But yo, man, I'm out. I'm finna get my life together. I'm finna go watch. I'm finna get ready to go to my kinfolk's house after a while and get ready to pregame and watch the game. So y'all be blessed. I will get at y'all later. And hey, go Cowboys, man! It's game day. Cowboy by 14.